Today on the Happy House, presented by GreaterGood Stuff, we're taking a look back at some of the amazing trips we've taken with GreaterGood.org.
We'll visit a school on the remote island of Laganov.
People are very friendly. There's a very interdependency that goes on here.
You'll learn about an incredible nonprofit helping to bring the gift of education to those in need.
And then we're with GreaterGood.org, visiting a clinic on the Thai-Burmese border that services families that would not otherwise have access to health care. So he came 6 days ago, and then it's still not getting better. He had to come back. She's happy because her baby's better.
Next, we've been invited by GreaterGood.org to visit a very inspiring project in Cambodia. And then,
The Happy House is in Kenya today. That's right, I said Kenya. We're certainly going to take in some sights, but more importantly, we're here to see some of the amazing projects Greater Good supports. Join us to learn more about these inspirational women in Africa and hear their incredible stories. And finally, we're on our way to Wildlife Works. We'll take an up-close look at just a handful of the programs they do to protect animals and foster community. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Happy.
I learned early on things are much easier with a little help. I also have a few tricks of my own to share. It's go time, people. Welcome to the Happy House, presented by GreaterGood Stuff.
One of my favorite parts about my job is that I get the opportunity to visit places and see very, very good things happening around the world. My visit to the Matanwa Community Learning Center was so inspirational. Watching these kids and hearing about their hopes and dreams for the future was so amazing. I'm in Haiti and it's amazingly beautiful. The Happy House was lucky enough to be invited on a trip to the island of Laganov to work with a school there on behalf of GreaterGood.org.
GreaterGood.org supports over 250 organizations on a global scale. We do everything from feeding kids in Thailand to teaching children how to read in Creole in Haiti to helping animal shelters adopt more animals through photography, funding mammograms in Sierra Leone, in rural Nevada, really all over the United States, and feeding animals across the U.S.
We're going to be delivering toys and art supplies to a school in Laganov, which is an island that you can barely see right behind me. GreaterGood.org does all kinds of projects like this for people, pets, and the planet, and we're lucky enough to be along for the ride. We're on our way to the island of Laganov. It's about, I think, a half-hour ride, so we're excited to get there. So this is a little bit of a precarious ride, but my trusty driver here, I know is going to get us there safe and sound. He's very focused. Thank goodness. The first leg of our journey was quite an adventure, and actually I really enjoyed it, but from what I've heard, that's the easiest part of the journey. We're now going to make our way up to the school that we're about to visit. Look how far we've come. We made it. It was quite a journey, probably in all 5 hours of travel, but we are finally at our school and ready to make a difference.
We've arrived in Montanois. The village is beautiful. There's no running water and very little electricity, but the school is truly fantastic. There are lots of kids running around with smiles on their faces, and the grown-ups of the village have welcomed us with open arms. We're now going to meet Chris Lowe and learn about her group, Friends of Montanois, the supporters of this wonderful school.
Good to meet you. Yeah. Welcome, GreaterGood, to Montanois. And as you see, here's the school.
How did you come to know that you had to sort of be on this mission here?
You know, I was teaching in Cambridge, Massachusetts in the public schools. There was an organization who knew that I came back and forth to Haiti and asked me to come to the island of La Gonâve to see what they were funding in education and if I thought it was worth funding. I saw something that really changed my life, which was 25 immaculately dressed women in a small hut, and for 2 hours they just went up to the blackboard trying to write their name. So I said to them, you teach me Creole and I'll teach you how to teach. And that turned into, that year of volunteering suddenly turned into, okay, what about elementary students? You know, why don't I teach teachers at that level how to teach? And I knew that the minute I resigned from Cambridge, there'd be 100 teachers wanting my job. But how many would come here and start to teach? Probably not many. Images of Haiti are often negative ones, you know, and Haitians here often feel like, I wish they would show the other side of Haiti, because the people are very friendly. There's a very interdependency that goes on here. The reason why this particular school is so important is because in Haiti, only 50% of the children in Haiti ever get to go to school. And because they're struggling between the language of French and Creole, the official exams are in French, yet 100% of the people speak Creole and only 5% actually speak French. So a lot of people fail out at 6th grade. And then there's only 20% of those kids going to school actually go on to 7th grade. And at the high school last year, only 2% graduate. So that's why it's so important, because this school is showing that if you learn in the language that you speak, that you're going to succeed. And the hard data shows that our kids are reading and comprehending at a very high level in the elementary grades.
It's a beautiful Sunday morning here in Montanois, and we are anxiously awaiting the flag ceremony. But before the kids can do anything, including go to school, they need to start their day with a breakfast. So they've all gathered here, and breakfast is prepared for them each morning.
So what are you doing, Happi?
I'm helping them wash their hands. Nobody was at the station, so I just stepped up.
It made me incredibly happy and proud to see all the children eating a great breakfast today, because I know that hunger is certainly an issue. To see a school understand that these children aren't going to learn if they can't concentrate, and to focus on that first and foremost with these young people, to get to come here and help feed them and know that there was food in their bellies at least once today, and that they're growing and stronger because of our efforts. It's
Amazing. I was actually at breakfast with you, and we both marveled at how big the portions were. I thought I couldn't even eat that, but then we were reminded that, in fact, that probably is their only meal of the day, so they are basically eating for the entire day at that point.
We are from many parts of the United States,
Nous sortis un peu le côté aux États-Unis
and we are very, very happy to be here.
et nous très très contents de venir ici.
We work with a company called GreaterGood. I go all over the world, and
Nous
this
sommes
is
qui voyagent dans toutes les zones dans le monde
and this is one of the best schools I have ever seen.
Avec ça, c'est meilleure l'école que j'ai jamais vue.
GreaterGood.org is an organization that benefits many causes and charities throughout the world. Through the help of its retail partner, GreaterGood.com, over $35 million has gone to charity.
Greater Good allowed us to go from 9th grade to 10th grade, which all those kids are very excited about, not having to move to a different school where there's still corporal punishment and there's not as many resources. So now they're eating and they're going on in their education. And so it's changed that way. We have 4 chicken coops and hundreds of chickens.
The reason this school has hundreds of chickens that feed lots of kids every single day is because of the care and contributions of GreaterGood.org supporters. How many eggs every day do you get from those chickens?
En moyenne, nous avons environ 100 œufs par jour.
Okay, about 100 eggs a day.
A day. So we're visiting a lot of the classrooms today at the school, and I think that physical education is a favorite of the kiddos based on what I'm seeing out here.
Happy?
Yes?
Go get with the next group and run.
No.
Come on, let's do it. Let's do it. Go, 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 go. Happy. Cute.
I was schooled.
Schooled in Montanois.
Schooled in Montanois, yeah. Now we're visiting the school's garden, and it looks incredible. It's so great to see all of the kids out here working together to foster this source of nourishment and nutrition. The gardener at the school teaches the children how to weed, water, and really make this garden thrive.
Là, presque toute communauté a net manger dans le jardin.
The whole community eats from this garden.
Okay.
Manger qui fait ici, élève manger, l'autre monde dans la communauté a envie de manger.
The food that they cook here in the kitchen, the students eat it, and the other people from the community, if they don't have, they come to eat it. Chairs, not travail là. This particular piece of wood right here is we're working on it. We're gonna make a leg for the chair.
How many chairs have you made?
Combien de chaises vous faites? We made a lot of chairs. Because all the younger classes, the younger kids, they all have chairs in there, and we're the ones that made them. And we actually sell the chairs to other schools too.
We're watching a little soccer practice out here, and the kids are really enjoying themselves. They're playing with a brand new ball that Creative Kid Stuff donated. When the Greater Good was coming to Haiti, they reached out to Creative Kid Stuff because they knew of the need for the soccer balls. We were informed by the head of the school that it's been over 2 weeks since the kids have had access to a ball, and so they're very excited to be playing again today.
Look up.
Woo! Yeah, you like that.
So we were just told they haven't had a soccer ball in 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, and they just got 20.
Wow.
Thanks to Creative Kid Stuff, huh?
Wow, that's a wonderful thing.
Valencia is teaching this PE class. She was a student at the school, and actually a lot of schools don't have soccer for girls, but we do, and she's actually been just scouted for camp for doing a national team. So she'll
Wow.
be going off to Quatabuque full time. They are doing a full sponsorship for her to do soccer.
That's great. Well, it's amazing that she's here spending time with the kids then right now.
Yeah, so they keep saying she needs to come full time, but she keeps saying, no, I can't come full time because I want to work with the kids in Matanoa. But
great.
Now they said you got to choose, so we said you've got to go.
Yes, it's a great opportunity.
It's a great opportunity.
Are you going to be able to continue coming back?
Yes, this is actually my decision to keep on coming back, because I could just stay over there and keep on playing for the team, but I'd rather come back and forth, so I could keep on giving to the community that gave me so much.
So do you guys enjoy your school? Yeah? You like the school? Yeah? I like it too. You guys have a very impressive school. It's really impressive to see teachers so engaged and students so engaged on the top of this hill in Laganav, which is a lovely, lovely, lovely place and a lovely island and one of the nicest districts in Haiti. But it is also very hard to get to. And it's really special that your schools are so good. Do you like the school? Yeah? Good. A little petit anglais? Well, that's more than my French. I'm sorry, and it's more than my Creole.
So what's happening right now in this classroom?
They're about to do a mother tongue book. When we first started the school and we were talking about literacy, one of the things we saw was that people were trying to read in French, and that yet they only spoke French in school, and the teachers didn't know it very well either. So we said they really should be learning in Creole, in the language that they speak in their mother tongue. So, but there was nothing written for them to read. So we started writing our own stories and publishing them.
The Mother Tongue Book Program is truly inspirational. Children are able to express things about their lives or write stories about what is happening to them in their native language. Those stories are then translated into English and shared with children in the United States. In turn, children in the United States write about their lives, and those stories are translated into Creole.
Can any school get involved with this, or
They can.
do you have to be
They
selected?
can. So they just email us, mothertonguebooks@gmail.com.
Okay.
And we have some retired teachers that help us out and make it go.
Do all of you young ladies want to be professional women? Professional working women having careers?
My dream? I'd like to go to study computer science at the university. She wants to be a nurse.
Nice.
Nursing, computer science, singing, dancing.
The GROW program, which is an acronym for Girls' Right to Opportunity Worldwide, it's an international and national program. Here, we're concerned about the idea that we need girls to get more education so that they are, in fact, not recycling and going through the same thing that their mothers' mothers did, which was, frankly, a very low education level, teamed up with poverty, and also teamed up with too many children. So when you have children having children, obviously they're not ready to be parents, so their children then suffer the same cycle. Many of the young women that I talked to today talked to me about their mother's pride in their efforts and how they saw it to be important that they actually got a job before they had the baby, which is it's a turn. That's a huge shift in paradigm for women. And so we need to continue to assist these women get more education beyond the primary level so that they have skill sets that they can support themselves and they don't have to turn around to a man to make the money for them.
When you really learn here, you feel like once with what you've learned, you can be useful to yourself, you can do something with it. In some schools, the kids go through schooling not apparently being empowered by any of the things they've learned. I want to raise my kids better than I've been raised. That's one of the reasons why my parents are sending me to school, because they didn't go to school. So if I get an education, I'm supposed to be able to do better. If I get to do 13th grade, if I finish high school, then I would want my kids to go to university, and I would take the time to talk to them regularly and insist on the fact that education is the key to success.
Thank you for joining the Happy House on our Haiti adventure. We've learned a lot and seen so much good. To learn more about the programs that GreaterGood.org has, and specifically how to help the GROW program, visit our website. Another trip we took was to Thailand, where we visited the Maytao Clinic. This clinic helps Burmese refugees receive medical care they would not otherwise be able to get.
We've been invited to visit the Maytao Clinic, located in the town of Mae Sot on the Thailand-Burma border. For over 20 years, this amazing medical facility has provided life-saving care and preventative care to the citizens of Karen and Burma. This is a displaced population that would otherwise not receive medical care. GreaterGood.org has supported the Maytao Clinic through Gifts That Give More and other donation programs. I'm excited to see exactly what's happening here. Lots of good.
You do amazing work.
Yeah, thank
We're
you.
Really honored
This
to
is
help.
great. Thank you very much.
We're really honored.
Because it is big relief for us.
The Maytao Clinic was founded by Dr. Cynthia Mong, a displaced Karen refugee. She has worked tirelessly to provide critical health care and education to the displaced people of Karen and Burma.
Can you tell me how this all began?
This what began as a community center which coordinate emergency relief, supply, and coordination for the medical referral system from Burma to Thailand, because during '88 students fled to the border because of the student uprising being cracked down by the military. So they displaced to the border. So we start setting up emergency medical relief program. But there are many cases we could not refer because we could not afford that. So finally we feel that we need to set up a medical center to provide basic level services before refer to Mesa Hospital.
The clinic has served tens of thousands of displaced refugees. The clinic responds to medical emergencies of patients who visit, but also offers a lot of preventative care, including vaccinations, eye exams, dental exams, and more. This dramatically enhances the quality of life of the patients who receive this care.
I'm standing outside what is basically the pediatric clinic, and I'm really just so impressed by what's happening inside. The children are really well adjusted and being cared for, and they see about 30 to 40 children here a day, which I think is pretty impressive. A lot of people are working hard to deliver the care that these kids need, and many of the ailments they're coming here for are ailments that we would see in the United States, such as ear infections or strep throat, and then also dehydration, malaria, so things outside of our scope, but they're actually being treated, and many times, and actually in most cases, this care is absolutely free and available to people who don't have Thai residency, which is critical. Look at that sweet, sweet baby resting next to his mommy.
6 days ago.
6 days?
Text by already discharged and not better, so come back today.
So he
Yeah.
came 6 days ago, and then it's still not getting better. He had to come back. Yeah. Oh, little guy. Is this your first time at the clinic?
Yes, the first time.
You have a beautiful boy. He looks like you. She looks like she's getting better. Is she getting better?
No, like the fever release.
It did release overnight? Yes. That's good. That's good. This is the area where kids who have more significant medical conditions stay, and they are so grateful for the care they're getting here because this really is their only option. It's pretty moving.
So as a mother yourself, I mean, put yourself in their shoes. What do you think?
Well, I'd be very thankful to have the care, that's for sure, but it'd be hard. Oh. They have an eye clinic here, and I hadn't even really thought about that before. Typically when I thought about a clinic like this, I'm thinking of births and diseases and infections, but eyes really are the lens of our life, and they see over 30 patients every day here for eye examinations. Then also, I was told 100 to 200 surgeries happen every single day. Not in a month, every day, and they happen about every 5 minutes all day long, helping people with cataracts and other eye conditions. This is huge. This is really important to me. Being somebody who cannot see, this would impact my life greatly. They deliver over 3,000 babies a year here. That's a lot of babies.
Where would you have delivered your baby had you not had Maytel Clinic to come to?
If not, she will born the baby in the village.
In the village?
In the village, yeah.
She's happy because her baby is better. He's very beautiful. Is this your little girl?
Yes, the older one.
The big sister.
It was a gift to be welcomed into the maternity area and observe firsthand how much joy the women felt. I can relate to that, having 4 children of my own. To have the experience and talk with them, learn more about their journey was really an honor.
We're at the Samuta school, and we came just in time for lunch. We are able to see lots of kiddos being fed as part of the dry food program.
GreaterGood.org helps to protect and feed displaced Karen and Burmese school children through Maytau's dry food program. It provides the primary nourishment for 3,000 migrant students.
It looks like today there's rice and some kind of sauce and maybe like a fish stew. Do you count on the dry food program to help feed the students?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
They're all very happy. Me too.
Yes.
Me
yes.
too.
All right. These kids are doing their own dishes. Why does it not happen at the real Happi house?
Oftentimes, the children who attend these schools would not have a place to stay because their parents are away working. So the schools offer a boarding option to some students.
How many girls stay in this room?
27 girls and 4 teachers.
27 girls and 4 teachers?
4 teachers.
Okay, let's see. Can we?
This is for the girls.
Here they are. May we look?
1 girls, 1 boxes. Some of the girls, they are small young.
Yes.
2 girls, 1 boxes.
Oh, so each girl receives their own box unless they're younger, then they might share a box because they're smaller. Yes. Hi. Thank you for letting us see your room.
We at GreaterGood are here in the Thai-Burmese border at a school called the Children's Development Center. We help support girls' scholarships in a dry food program here.
She hoped to become the teacher. Since she was young, she wants to become the interpreter. If she becomes the interpreter, she will get money, she will save that money, and then she will support to the boarding house. So that boarding house can continue, and then other children also can get education like her, like that. She wants to become medic or teacher. After that, she think of going back to her village, and then she wants to serve back to her community. She wants to become the good leader. She wants to serve back to her community. She wants to become the medic in mental clinic. If she meet with the supporters, she wants to say thank you very much because this is not possible for them to come and study like this. But now, because of the donor, the impossible thing become possible.
This program is underfunded, and we hope to continue to support more and more funding so these girls have nutrition to go along with their education. And with your help, we can continue to support more children like these throughout the years. Thank you.
Thank you. Earlier we visited the current Maytao Clinic, where we saw lots and lots of work being done with patients of all ages. The facility does very, very well with limited and aging resources. There's no question, though, that they could do more work with updated facilities. Around 4 years ago, they began building this new Maytao Clinic, and it is spectacular. Lots of lives will be impacted in a positive way because of this new facility. Let's take a look at it. How long has it been in progress?
It's since 2012, I think we started.
This is an outpatient area. This is where we saw children and adults being treated for things that were able to be handled easily, and then they're released.
Yeah, first they come here.
Yes.
They register and then come to OPD.
What is that new clinic going to mean for your patients and the facility?
The location, it is much better than here because of the land is much higher. Here is the flooded area.
Yes.
Every rainy season, this flooded area.
Oh.
And also, this land is not secure because it's owned by Thai lady, and we have to make a lease every year, and the lease being increasing every year.
Does the clinic own this land?
Yeah, now this one, we own this land.
So you're not paying rent or leasing, now you just own it. Yes, that makes sense.
So Annie, I gather that this building is not completed because you don't have enough funds to complete it. Is that correct?
Yes, not only this building, there are a wastewater system. So to complete the service, the land one, let's say, the land one project, we have a 4.5 million shortfall for completing this
GreaterGood
project.
has been a supporter for a long time, and we are very proud of our support for Maytao Clinic. And we would like to supply the remaining 4.5 million baht so that you can complete your construction on time and that it doesn't take from the general fund.
It would be great.
We are very excited to be able to help, and
thank you very much.
Thank
you very much for your
donors
support
from
and
all over the
interest
United
in
States and
supporting us.
all over the world, and everyone is so impressed by the changes that you've made here and the impact that you have.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
The work you do is really inspirational, and the work GreaterGood does is also inspirational.
Thank you so very much, Annie.
Thank you.
Why do you do what you do?
We feel that the health program, all the health services this is a basic rights for human being, and it also protect human dignity. This is our rights and responsibility to intervene. Without empowering or engaging with the local community or people affected by this problem, you cannot go further. When they go back to their community, they can be the leaders in their community, not as a victim of the people who been displaced, to being as a displaced person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
To learn more about how you can help, visit our website. The Pon Harry Lee Foundation helps children throughout Cambodia receive education. We also have the opportunity to make a meal for some pretty hungry kids. We're in Cambodia visiting organizations that benefit from GreaterGood.org and also spending time with Pon Harry Lee, a woman with an amazing story. Each year, millions of tourists visit Cambodia to ride in a tuk-tuk, buy handcrafted souvenirs from the locals, and take in the magic of the temples of Angkor Wat.
Time for a tuk-tuk selfie.
We're in a tuk-tuk, and it's fantastic. I'm gonna get one of these to drive around the neighborhood.
I'll pick you up. Okay, I got the safety.
Little bumpy now? How was the tuk-tuk ride?
It was great. I actually want to travel tuk-tuk all the time. We took a journey outside the city to learn about how these baskets are made and see firsthand how the work is done. GreaterGood.com is always looking for products that can be sourced from communities just like this, where then it adds to the financial stability of the area and provides work for people who might not otherwise have it. They're beautiful. They're so beautiful. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yep. It's hard to believe that all of the hard work that goes into this only costs about $1 a basket.
This temple used as the Buddhist temple. Because of that we call Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat, that means the world or the city of the Buddhist monastery. But the original name of this Angkor Wat was Parama Vishnu Loka. That means the world of Vishnu. The king, he was Vishnuist.
Because the king died and the next king doesn't.
No, because to be the king, he had to be the best architect. And so he had to have his own temple design. Right. When he became king, he cannot have time to finish his father building. He had to show that he's also the best king.
Do you feel like Lara Croft from Tomb Raider?
Yes, I do. What's the purpose of a temple? Like, is it just a show? Like, what happened in this building?
They built a temple for worshiping.
Worship, okay.
Yeah, because the temple is for the gods. It's not for the people living in.
Oh, so people do, so that's my question. Do people come here to worship?
Yes.
They did, but
They
it's
did.
for the gods. It's
Yeah.
a symbol of appreciation for the gods.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if my watch is accurate and I actually get my steps in, because I'm pretty sure I've already done about 500 steps, literal steps.
For the king, when he came on the elephant back.
So
when he
this
walked,
is the elephant special entrance. Yeah.
imagine if you were king and queen and then sit on the elephant and step out from the elephant back to the temple.
I need to get an elephant entrance built for my house. Our tour guide today is very special. Her name is Ponheri Lee, and she's no ordinary tour guide. We came to Cambodia with GreaterGood.org specifically to meet her and learn her story and life mission to help rebuild a country still trying to recover from a tragic past.
Her life story is obviously a very compelling story of a human being's triumph over a lot of tragedy. So when she was a child, her father was a secondary school teacher. A lot of her aunts and uncles were educators, so she came from a family of teachers. Education was very important to her family. The day that the Khmer Rouge marched them out of the city and into the work camps, she was in the middle of the 7th grade. Mm-hmm. Some of them survived the genocide, some of the children. The father obviously didn't. He was eliminated for being an educated man. Ponheri, because of the fact that there were no teachers left in the country, when the Vietnamese were occupying Cambodia at that time, anybody who had a 7th grade education was sent to teacher training school for 3 months, and so she became a primary school teacher. Mm-hmm. It was her passion to be a teacher, and she felt like she was following in her father's footsteps by being a teacher. She was very proud to be a teacher. Later on, when she learned foreign languages and then became a tour guide, being a tour guide was only possible because she had learned these other languages. So again, education was a very important part of the family's escape from poverty. So she knows from very deep personal experience what education can bring. It's a ladder that goes into a deep well where you're at the bottom looking out and a way for you to climb out. Then her mission became, I need to go into these communities where the perpetrators of this genocide are and educate their children. If you go out and try to make some change over here, maybe that wouldn't ever happen again. Obviously she wants that. And there's a little piece in her very pure heart of just revenge to go into those communities where those old soldiers are and grab their children and bring them to school and just turn everything around on them during their lifetime. Gives her a great pleasure. A great pleasure.
The Ponheri Lee Foundation is helping close to 3,000 children in northern Cambodia. Their mission is to give children who are living in rural poverty access to quality education. They provide education, they nourish them, and they give them safe places to live. We're at Kake Primary School in Cambodia, and all of us are helping prepare a very large meal for the students. This isn't a meal that they get every day, it's a very special meal. As soon as we arrived, all of the students gathered to begin help unloading supplies and jump in on preparing this meal.
Making the meal with the students was great. Chopping cabbage. I chopped cabbage like I haven't chopped cabbage before.
I saw you chopping cabbage, girl.
Uh-huh.
I have never made this much chicken in my life. This looks delicious and it smells amazing.
It could be a new fad, workout while cooking.
Yeah, I wonder if I'm getting my steps in.
This meal we call a special lunch.
A special lunch?
For the children, because every day they eat at home not very good. So when we can provide them some lunch per month for good, will make them healthy.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Very nice. Thank you. Did you draw me this picture? Look at that beautiful picture. Nice job. When you take on a new school, tell me about the process. What's the very first thing you do when you get there?
Well, we'll use the example of the school that we started in Kokay, where you went, up in the north. We arrived there and went into the community to do an assessment of how many children are in the village, because enrolled in school they had only 38 children enrolled in school. So we want to see how many children are in this village.
I saw more than 38 children in that school.
During the process of that assessment, it came clear to us that a lot of the children were deeply unwell. There was a lot of tuberculosis in the village. A lot of the kids had malaria. You know, if you're completely malnourished and you don't have an immune system, then anything that comes your way just lays you out. And that was the first time we'd really encountered that. And it almost made us kind of stop for a moment and think about how can we take on all these sort of medical issues. We're an education NGO. There's medical problems here. What are we going to do about that? Punhiri told me that day when we were standing out in the schoolyard kind of pondering that question. I said, you know, I think we're about to fall in a hole here. And she said, yeah, we're going to fall in the hole that these 160 kids are in, but we can climb out any time. What about them? So, okay. So
you can't argue with her.
Can't argue with her at all. So the first 10 days or so, we asked all the kids to come to school, fed them a big breakfast, and then laid them up on their desks, and there was IVs thrown everywhere, and it looked like triage. Well, that's what it looked like. School didn't really start in earnest, I'd say, for about 3 months. And there was also some children that perished. There were 3 children that perished during that first 10-day thing, and they were kids that didn't come to school.
This looks lovely.
Reading is good for getting the knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah. Example for reading. My mom, she didn't know a lot about education. She went to school only 1 year for her life.
Okay.
You know? And then when she married to my father like reading for her and make her reading also.
Yes.
And after my father died, he was killed by the Querus, and then come back. My mom opened a bookshop. So because of that, I focus to the library.
Yes.
My personal idea, library is very important, like my mom's bookshop.
I agree with you. Let's
So
see this.
Go up there.
Oh, it's so cheerful in here.
The one who like playing, they can play. We have the Lego, we have some game over there for them to play. And some students, they like reading.
So it's a book library, but also kind of a learning center with games and different things like that. It's really great. I love it. It's important to make things cheerful and inviting, and it looks so fun in here. Backyard barbecue pit. Whole new idea for it. Lunch is served. It looks delicious. Are you hungry? All right. Enjoy your lunch.
Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome. Yes.
Thank you.
Sometimes they want to take some to their family. So they eat and they see. If we finish, they keep the rest for their mother. So since then, we don't cook only for them.
Right.
Cook a little bit extra so that they can bring home a little bit.
My favorite part about our trip to Cambodia and the Punhiri Lee Foundation was actually getting to meet Punhiri Lee herself. She's a genocide survivor, and her father was actually killed by a certain ethnic group that she now educates in her schools all around this region. And that, to me, has incredible impact throughout this community. She's an inspiration to me and all of us who got to know her here.
Are you leaving us, Brittany?
I don't want to go.
Are you hostage?
I don't have a choice. And I'm fine with that. Oh, I'm in love.
When a child finishes primary school, they are rewarded with a bike of their own. This is a reward, but it's also a necessity. Oftentimes, children would not be able to continue their secondary education without a bike to ride to school. Welcome back to the Happi House. We're going to learn about these girls behind me, the future of Cambodia, top students making a difference.
These are 56 girls that are from various districts inside Siem Reap province, and the place where they live, school ends at grade 9.
Okay.
So they can't finish high school in a lot of the places in the rural area. So these girls are all top of their class. So we're choosing one girl from each district, top of the class, and bringing them here.
So all these girls from different village, and then they didn't know each other before, but they get along with each other very well, you know.
They're their own family.
They said that they don't know how to dispute with each other, but they know only how to tickle each other and play and laugh all the time. So all together, they like sisters here, and they are very disciplined.
Yeah,
I can tell you that.
Girls, is this your room? It's so clean. It's so clean. My daughter's room doesn't look like this. She's very messy.
Nationally, about 52%, I think last year, of everybody who took the national exam for grade 12 passed. Only about half.
In the country.
The storm, the last 3 years, consecutive years, 100% of girls here passed the exam.
That's incredible.
The first 2 girls to ever go to engineering school at university in Cambodia came out of the storm 2 years ago. The girls here are fierce, highly motivated.
At GreaterGood, we support their school package program, which supplies school children with uniforms, books, and also food for money. And so getting to see and meet a few of the students who received those packages was one of my favorite pieces.
I come from Koke, and it's very far, maybe.
Oh, is that where you've been? Yeah.
140 kilometers.
I just visited your school yesterday. Yes, I love it there. Did you like going to school there?
Yes. Before, I didn't know everything. I don't know how to study computer, how to speak English. But when I come here and I study about it, I know it clearly before I live in countryside.
Your English is very good.
Thank you.
I understand you want to be a journalist, is that right? How did you even know about that or dream about that?
Before, I didn't think about journalists, but when I come here and I see the world, I just want to do a journalist because journalists can get a lot of news from the world and inside to tell other people about the happens problem in the social.
Hold on, I have a question for you. Take the camera. Come here, sit down. Okay, now you interview her.
Yeah,
okay?
ask me a question.
Hello, Happi. How are you?
I am great, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And how is different between Cambodia and your country?
Oh, that's a long conversation. You know what's interesting actually is many things are the same. It really comes down to people caring for other people and communicating with other people, and that's the same. That's all the same. So there's a lot of differences, but it really comes down to just making a difference and people caring for people.
Thank you for this answer.
Thank you for interviewing me. Yes, nice job.
Hold on. This is your first ever professional journalism job. You get paid.
Thank you.
Every one of those girls that you met at the dorm yesterday has an amazingly compelling story about what they have done to get their education. Inspiring, every single one of them. Yeah.
They really have to be focused and work for it. It's not going to just come to them.
No, it's a very difficult road that they've got to go down. And as they go down that road and meet success along the way, I think it empowers them to continue. And that's the thing that we constantly try to do, is serve up a lot of stuff that will help them be successful so that they can stand on that and have the power to push themselves through. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's really great work that this foundation is doing.
Thank you. It's an honor to be doing it. Yeah.
There's a very special group of women who can't hear, but they speak loudly, and they make the most beautiful jewelry in Nairobi, Kenya. We were able to visit their jewelry making facility, and it was so inspiring. This house looks quiet from the outside, but there's a lot of creative energy and activity going on the inside. We're at Sakia Jewelry Designs, and I have to say, this is one of my favorite visits I've ever made. I am surrounded by these amazing women making beautiful, beautiful jewelry. Many of these women worked for a very long time to find jobs and were rejected again and again because of the fact they are deaf.
Amen. So,
What just happened?
We were welcomed. It was so nice. We're about to eat cake now. These jewelry designs can be found at GreaterGood. GreaterGood feels very strongly about empowering women and helping them make their lives better through work. These women take a lot of pride in what they create and work very, very hard to make sure each piece is beautiful and perfect. The motto of the artisans at Sakia Designs is "Hear Me Now," because even though they can't hear, they have plenty to say.
She had so many challenges before she was doing business, before she knew this. Before she was not working here and she was really suffering. So she could not even pay her rent. So she was living with her parents. So it was so challenging. She tried to look for a job, applied in many places, but she didn't get. When she came here, she asked for a job. God helped her to get the information about this. By that time, she didn't have the experience, but she really, really wanted to know. Her friends were encouraging her, just try, but it was very hard. She repeated, she was shocked. She was afraid she's going to make wrong things. It was so challenging. She was really making wrong things. When she goes to the toilet, she cries because she's making wrong things. They tried to teach her, but she was wrong so many times. But her boss was telling her, you must do this. You must do this. If you don't do it right, you'll go home. She even wanted to leave. She wanted to give up, but she tried until she knew, until she got it. She knows it very well. So life has changed. Now it's better than before. She can even go to supermarket, buy things just because of this. Children are going to school just because of this. It's better now. She's living a good life now. Now it's better than before, thank God.
No more crying in the toilet.
No more crying in the toilet.
To learn more about these women and see beautiful jewelry, visit thehappyhouse.com. Jambo, that's hello in Swahili. We're at the Giraffe Center in Nairobi, and we're going to be able to get up close and personal with these beautiful creatures. This center protects giraffes. It's their goal to combine people and nature and create sustainable living. The Giraffe Center is the creation of a Kenyan conservation organization. The purpose of the Giraffe Center is to educate Kenyan school children about their country's wildlife and environment, and to give visitors an opportunity to come into close contact with a wild animal by feeding the world's tallest species, the giraffe.
What did you think about feeding the giraffe, Happy?
I liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're so beautiful. It's really amazing, and they're very gentle, actually. Although they do not like to be pet necessarily, and if you don't have food, you are not exciting to them at all. Our group is visiting the Sheldrick Elephant Orphanage. This organization rescues elephants from poaching and then releases them back into the wild. Today we are going to watch the elephants. Oh, look, there they come! We're going to watch the elephants be fed and learn a little bit more about this organization. These baby elephants were orphaned because of poaching. They would not survive alone in the wild, and so when they're rescued by this organization, it gives them a chance at life. Out in the middle of basically nowhere, Rukinga, Kenya, Wildlife Works works very hard to protect animals and build communities. Welcome to Kenya.
Don't forget me.
No, I wanted to leave you here so she can come very fast in Kenya.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I'll get the next one.
Welcome.
We don't have any room, Lynn.
Good move. See an opening?
Sort of like you write your own traffic.
Oh, yeah. Were you a NASCAR driver?
Don't distract him, Lynn. Don't distract him.
Oh, nice move. Oh, Heavy Love is trying to pass us. Oh, Darlene's coming at us. We're stuck between Darlene and Heavy Love.
You have the horn, so you have to respect me. My horn is big.
Hi, we made it. Tell me what your mission is and then really what happens here.
Essentially, we're a conservation organization. Our mission is to find ways to conserve elephants and other endangered wildlife and the forest habitat in which they live. And what's unique about us, I think, we provide income to the community through jobs, and we bring investment into the community through the international marketplace for environmental services that are provided. That's our mission, is to harness the power of the global marketplace to conserve wildlife.
We finally struck water here. We've had a couple dry ones over the years, and it's a $20,000 crapshoot when you drill a hole looking for water around here. So
you're making this into a permanent water hole?
this, yeah, where we're going to put a trough probably here, and feed the trough, and then any overflow. 7,000 liters an hour they measured.
Wow.
Any overflow is just going to go into the dam. A good plan to imagine that there are crocodiles in every body of water in Africa, but they're generally not any. This is not a permanent body of water, so
Okay.
it dries up in the dry season, so they won't be able to live.
We do very occasionally get a hippo visiting us.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a lion.
That's a lion. Yeah, it's a big lion.
That's a nice one.
The Wildlife Works project here in Kenya, we call it the Kasagao Corridor Project, is 500,000 acres, so 500,000 acres, and it covers the land that lies between Tsavo East National Park and Tsavo West National Park. So those two national parks have a gap between them of about 70 miles, and that gap was where the communities were starting to clear and for farming. But the elephants don't understand the gap. They don't know there's a gap there. There is no fence on the park. And so traditionally they've moved back and forth between these parks seasonally for food or water. And so the goal of this project was to protect that corridor for elephants and make sure that they would always be able to migrate through this corridor from the two national parks.
This is Eric Sagwe, he's our head of security, head ranger. And these are some of the sections of rangers that we have. So these guys are responsible for looking after the entire project area.
We had the opportunity to visit with a group of rangers. This group protects 500,000 acres of land on foot, walking 20 miles each day. They track animals and scout for poachers. This is a very dangerous job and their lives are often at risk.
Last year when we were here, our shoes actually were worn out completely. But when you came in, I made a very, very simple request about shoes, and in fact they were delivered. About 300 pairs. My team received 2 pairs each. Everybody's very, very happy. It's a multi-purpose shoes. You can wear it to church, you can wear it to the weddings, and you can operate with them in the bush. So they are very, very nice.
They wear these to the weddings?
Yeah, they wear them to the weddings.
Nice.
Sure, sounds fun.
You guys do amazing work. Thank you.
Thank you. Sante sana.
So GreaterGood's been a great partner for us in a number of ways. I think the thing that we value the most is having a business relationship with GreaterGood, because GreaterGood needing product and selling product means jobs for the women who have to make the product. So that's the most important relationship that we have. GreaterGood has a fabulous audience of caring people who buy things. And so the money from buying those things does great things, but actually the making of those things can also do great things if they're made in a project like this. And so that's the biggest impact, I think, and the best impact is that your demand for products that we can produce here mean more jobs that we can then give the community. In addition, GreaterGood has also worked with some of our local women's groups and some of our local school groups to provide separate funding for those activities that are also very helpful to extend the benefits to the community of this project.
I've never had a welcome quite like this, and I don't think I ever will again. We're out in the community visiting one of the many groups Wildlife Works supports. Today we're visiting a women's group who specializes in making beautiful baskets. I think I'm going to have to get a few myself because I love baskets. This is one of the ways Wildlife Works has reached out to the communities containing over 100,000 people to include them and provide them with a way to earn income.
What's the haul?
I only have listen. One for Poopsie, one for me, and then this tote, which I need a market tote.
Let's make a definition. Poopsie is your mom's
My
nickname.
mom. I'm bringing a Prezi home for my mommy.
Nice. Very restrained, Happy. Good job.
I feel like I want one more.
Yet again, I'm international with Happy, and she is shopping.
It's for a good cause.
Your house?
It's for two good causes. I'm not being silly. These baskets are beautiful, and it really is for a good cause, because these women, if they don't have the income from this, are forced to do other things like making charcoal, and it's bad for their environment, and it's actually bad for them. So this is a much healthier way for them to send their children to school and put food on the table.
Welcome again.
I'd always heard how hard it is in drought-stricken Africa to grow anything because of the lack of water. The innovative gardening staff at Wildlife Works does things by trial and error. It's really impressive. They're patient, and they come up with solutions that really work. Their garden is flourishing.
All our activities in Wildlife Works, as I'm sure you have been told, are geared towards conservation of wildlife, that is plants and animals as well. We establish forests and plant trees where there has been degradation and in new areas. We collect approximately 30,000 tree seedlings from the community. We nurture these seedlings until the next rains, the longer rains, which come in November, December. Thereafter, during the rainy season, we distribute it back to the community. We buy from them, but when we distribute, we give it out free of charge. So that way we are contributing to reforestation and afforestation in new areas. The most important thing is to employ the local people. So people have only two resources, that is animals and the trees for burning charcoal. If they were not here, majority of them would be engaged in either of those two at a certain level.
Most people don't realize that probably estimates are something like 80% of Africa's rural population, maybe higher, use charcoal as a fuel or produce charcoal to sell as a product. A sad but interesting fact is that when you see a bag of charcoal on the highway here, which is where it is stored before it's transported up and down in the market, 7 of those sacks represent one 200-year-old tree. So an ancient hardwood tree is rendered down to 7 sacks of charcoal, and the market value of those 7 sacks of charcoal is used to be $20. Now it's probably $40 because the scarcity of the wood to turn into charcoal is increasing the price.
We're at the Wildlife Works greenhouse learning about innovative methods for organic gardening. It's really incredible. Vertical farming is a way to stretch your resources. 3 of these upright containers equals 1 row of plants. That's 24 meters of space in these compact containers.
It is a skill that not everyone can do this very easily. I taught these guys to do it, and now because I've not been doing it, now
they're better?
They're much better. I don't even know.
Isn't that how it goes?
I don't even want to try now.
Lynn, they're growing ginger here. You gotta smell this. It's so good. It's crazy.
Take it home.
It's all about conservation. I'm not taking anything.
Well, he picked it. So.
I know. I am so impressed with everything and how smart they are. And I actually asked him how he learned to do all of these things and what his training was. And like everything Wildlife Works does, it's so collaborative. He said he learned from people along the way. He's been doing this for 25 years. Sometimes he reads things, but basically people, when they find something that works, they share it with him. When he finds something that works, he shares it with others. So it's just such an amazing community here.
Here, give me the ginger again.
It's so
I'm
good.
in heaven.
I know.
I don't want to leave this place.
They're all checking us out. I don't like the look in his eye.
I know that one like kind of
Yeah.
squared up with us a little bit.
We ended our Kenya adventure with an amazing safari. Seeing all of these beautiful animals in their habitat is proof that GreaterGood and Wildlife Works truly are doing great work. This was the trip of a lifetime, and I will never forget it. I was so impressed and really oftentimes moved by all the work that's being done. But there's honestly so much left to still be done. So to learn more about GreaterGood and the projects they're involved with and how you can help, visit thehappyhouse.com.
It's such an honor to be able to witness these projects and sometimes be part of them. Makes me feel like the world definitely gets better and better every day.